language of alchemy. Across cultures and across centuries, birds have always carried a message for the human imagination. The reminders that we're not entirely bound to the earth. Something in us longs to live, to rise, to see the world from a wider horizon, a greater perspective. Perhaps this is why birds appear so often in myth, dreams and spiritual traditions, whenever the psyche is shifting, wherever life moves us from one stage to another, birds seem to arrive as companions on that journey. In the language of depth psychology, birds often appear when the soul is preparing for change. And in the language of alchemy, birds mark the stages of transformation itself. But why birds? Well, birds live in two worlds. They nest in trees on the sides of, cliffs, or some close to the ground. Yet they can all rise up into the open sky. They belong to the earth and the heaven at the same time. Because of this, many traditions see birds as liminal beings, messengers between realms, guides between life and death, creatures who carry meaning from one world to another. Carl Jung observed that birds often appear in dreams when the psyche is in transition. They arrive when something within us longs to lift out of an old condition and move to a new one. Birds symbolise freedom, but they also symbolise transformation. The bird's flight reminds us that perspective can change, that the same landscape can look very different when seen from above. And birds appear in alchemy. In many alchemical texts, birds appear time and time again, each one marking a stage in the great work, the long process in which the soul is transformed. The journey begins with the crow or the raven, dark wings, black feathers, circling above the landscape of Negredo, the stage of darkness, of decay, dissolution. In alchemy, this is a necessary breakdown before rebirth, a time where old structures fall apart so something new can emerge. From the darkness of the raven, we move towards the whiteness of the